They go, no. Amen. I got the same title. No. There were certain things that only the king could do. Even Esther did not, even Haman, his right-hand person, could not get access to the king without the proper authority. So he says, she said, if I perish, I perish once to the king. So she goes in there. And the rule was, if the king did not stretch out his scepter when you entered into his chamber without permission, the penalty was death. Woo. So imagine the king in his chamber, and he looks up and unannounced, without an appointment, Esther walks through the door. I don't know if he did it out of love or if the power of the Spirit of the Holy Ghost made his hand move, but the Bible said, but the king stretched out his scepter. Lord, come here. I like that.
She touched the top of the scepter.
The Lord just says something in my spirit. When we do what God tells us to do, God will stretch out his scepter for us. So, when he stretched out his scepter,
She touched the top of it.
that gave her access
Praise God.
to the king. Anybody want access to the king today? Yeah.
Glory. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
You don't have to take me to the king. The king will bid me to come. Come on, somebody. Yeah.
Amen.
So he stuck out his scepter. And Esther comes in. He said, my dear, what does he want, my dear? She said, king, I want to do this, king. I want you to prepare a nice banquet. And the attendees of the banquet, I want it to be you, Haman, and me. Now to the king, that was nothing. He said, that's all you want? Consider it done. See, if you hold your peace,
Amen. Amen.
and let the Lord fight your battles. That's why I tell people, Bishop does not like confrontation. I let people say stuff to me, do stuff to me, and they think they get away with it. I don't have to fight people back and tell people back off. I treat them nice after they do me wrong. Get quiet in here, girl. Y'all believe in payback. Y'all believe I'm just as much as man as he is, just as much as woman as she. No, hold your peace, let the Lord fight your battle.
Amen.
So, God was in the plan all along. The king allowed Esther to set up this gathering. And you know how it is, church. Some people just always want to sit at the big table. And I tell you sometimes, as your pastor, I tell my wife sometimes, I don't like sitting at the minister's table. Because why? I don't eat everything at the minister's table. Amen, Lady Evans? I was in Louisville, Kentucky. It was a beautiful setting of the minister's table. They had all beautiful, thick cut meats and so forth, all at that table, but Bishop Evans was not moved by it. And one of the bishops at the table said, you don't know Bishop Evans. He loves spaghetti. And they had spaghetti downstairs for the rest of the people. And they looked at me as the guest preacher said, what do you want? I said, I want the spaghetti. And don't get so caught up of wanting to get at the head table, you might lose your life at the head table. Come on, somebody.
Amen. Amen.
So, Haman gets, I got to hurry through this thing, Tom. Haman gets the invitation about the dinner, and he's happy to go. He starts bragging, I'm going to get to sit at the king's table with the king and the queen. Woo! You know how people say, na 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 na. I get to go, you don't get to go. So he gets to the table.
You know, we dress up. Nice.
Smooth operator. And watch out for smooth operators. He's sitting at the table and don't even know he's being played. Lord help me here today. And
Caught up in himself.
while he was sitting at the table, Esther began to talk. Esther says, King, somebody is trying to kill my people. Now, imagine the king hearing that his wife's family is in trouble and is troubling his wife. So the king is bothered by it. And he asks her, well, who is it that's trying to kill your people? Now, can you imagine Haman while he's sitting at the table knowing exactly what she's talking about? And finally she says, Haman is the one. Haman could have choked on his food. The king gets up, goes away from the table, and cannot believe that his right-hand man was trying to kill the family of his wife. So what happens now, Haman is now begging for his life. To the point where he's pleading with Esther. Come on. Don't let them do this to me. Please, please, please stop them from doing this thing to me. The king comes back in, and he was Haman was pleading so hard for his wife, for his life, that in his pleading, his weight overpowered Esther, that he caused her to fall and landed on top of her. The king comes in and said, what? Not only are you trying to kill my wife's people, now you are trying to lay with my wife? He says, all right, you build gallows, take this man and his family and hang them in the gallows. And not only do that, after you've done that, I want you to promote Mordecai to a higher position. In closing, church, because Esther had to be informed, she wasn't made queen for her glory, but she was made queen for the glory of God.
Remember the Jews.
Praise the Lord have his way. Thank you, Jesus.
Those of you that were not ministers 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and you're ministers for such a time as this, you're not a minister so somebody can brag and say you're a minister. God has made you a minister for such a time as this for the glory of God. Anything you might have to do in the church, do it to the glory of God, because he had you there for such a time as this. I don't care how much learning and how much word that you know, but with everything you have, God gave it to you. And whatever you know, God caused you to know it. Don't get caught up in yourself. Because if a man exalts himself, in due time God will abase you. Say yes. Church of the living God. For every reason, I was not born in 1930, but there was a church in 1930. That people that was there are not here today. There was a church in the 1920s. Those people are not here today. We were not the people for that time. Y'all believe me today? But there was people for that time. But after a while, the late 40s and the 50s came. And some of us start to show up. Can you see? Yes. And when we start to show up, we were being prepared for such a time as this. Have I got a witness here? Some of us had Mordecai's in our lives. If you don't believe it, the Mordecai in our lives was named E.C. Morris. I can't talk about that, right? The Mordecai in our lives was named R.C. Woods. The Mordecai in our lives was named Nathaniel Mullins. Yeah. We didn't realize why we were under their tutelage. Because we were being prepared for such a time as this. Yo, man, do you believe in church? Do you believe in church? Some people. When I was your age, I was there for being prepared for such a time as this. I sat under someone's tutelage to prepare me for such a time as this. I'm here to tell you God had you under my tutelage to prepare y'all for the time that God will say. Lady Evans kept the minutes for so many years. She kept the records for so many years. A.J. Evans was the deacon for so many years. They both still alive. But it's time for somebody else to step up, step forward, because you're here for such a time as this. Yeah, yeah. Don't think you're so good. That's why you're here. You're here for a purpose. That's why you're here. You're here to do a work for God. God got something for everybody here to do. For a time as this, in teaching our children technology. For a time as this, for the spirit world, trying to get to the computers. Our spirit-filled children can tell us how there was spiritual wickedness in computer high places. But we didn't get that privilege. I'm so glad. God wants to do it. You love the work. We're privileged in this church. We have educators in this church. Well, attorney in this church. All different folks of different professions in this church. And they're here for such a time as this. And when we realize when all God's children get together, what a time, what a time, what a time. Fighting time is over. Get together, brother. Get together, sister. Come along. Friends, come along. Get aboard. Let's ride this train. Nothing on the train to lose. With everything to gain. Tell somebody I need you. You need me. I don't have time to point at you. Don't take time to point at me. But let us go to the house of the Lord. Gonna go with me. There was a group, Young Brother Jones. It's our school now. There was a group that y'all knew about the man's sons. But there was another man, the father, was the leader of the group. And it came out of Philadelphia. And the group was called the OJs. See, y'all know Eddie Levert, but I know the father. And he had a group called the OJs. And they had a song I want to bring to this church. See, we know put your hands together. We know that song. But it's a shame. We would rather sing. It's amazing. Their most famous song. I hate to say that, the most famous song of the OJs is Backstabbers. Isn't that something, Mr. Barry? People promote that song, Backstabbers. Smiling in your face all the time, I want to take your place. The backstab, they promote that song, but they have a song that you don't even know, that they don't promote. Well, let me tell you what song they wrote. And the name of the song is We Are All in This Thing Together. We got to work it out. This is what they say. Just because your house sits on the hill and mine's down here on the ground, the same thing that's affecting you is affecting me indirectly, whether you know it or not. But church, we're all in this together. We gotta work it out. We gotta work it out. Stop looking for the faults of one another. God has put this church together for us to work together. God has put this church together for us to go together. God has put this church together for the impact of the community. Not for the impact of the community. We can impact the seat next to us. When God comes to tell me to tell you today, we are called at this time. But such a time as this, we don't need mama. But such a time as this, we use our mothers for their time. We don't need our grandparents. But such a time as this, it's our time. It's our time to roll up our sleeves. It's our time to put up our boots. It's our time to start working hand in hand together, shoulder to shoulder, side by side, and say, I won't let you fall if you lean on me. I'm my brother's keeper. Esther had the right to not even think about Mordecai, but Esther thought about her family. So what am I saying, church? If you're a mother and your children is saved, don't relax till the next mother's children get saved. Your purpose as the mother of saved children is to encourage the mother of unsaved children is in the same mind. He can save yours. So let us get down on our knees. And when the saints begin to pray, the Lord will have his way and the glory. The glory of the Lord, it will come down. Say yes, say yes. Let me do this. We've had so many people that have come through our doors. They joined our church. You felt because of their background in church that they were going to enhance the church. But sometimes we accept who God rejects. We try to reject who God wanted to accept. I'm trying to tell you, get out of God's way. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Look here, Concord Nursing Home has been there for years. My sister and I, we were raised right down the block for Concord Nursing Home. This church, Faith Holy Church, has been at this address since January 1982. But from January 1982 to up to a couple of years ago, Faith Holy Church did not have access to the Concord Nursing Home. There was nothing wrong with the church. It was not our time yet. But God had somebody in Jamaica being trained. Then he flew to America and they joined this church. God and somebody was in New Jersey. Then he brought him back to New York to join this church. And for this time as this church has access to Concord Nursing Home, a Baptist church. Keep the Sabbath once a month. Don't get me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why didn't it happen before, Bishop? I don't know why. It didn't happen before. All I can say, it was not the time. Sometimes we gotta tell people, it's not the time for they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Well, you believe it? Just think about it. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. All the places you could have been. Who thought 25 years ago you'd be doing what you're doing right now? You will be where you are right now. I guarantee you, 29, now when I'm talking about, that doesn't mean that something was wrong with you 25 years ago. So I'm thinking, I'm talking 25 years ago you was in sin. No, 25 years ago you was being prepared. Somebody said we were being prepared.
Be prepared.
Who thought that 25 years ago, I guarantee you, Sister Miller, you probably never in your mind thought that God will raise you up when the enemy and his forces will begin to act up. An unlicensed person, a church full of ministers, listen to me today, church, evangelists, ministers, deacons, elder, the bishop, the apostle. But when spiritual warfare, elect ladies, but when spiritual warfare come, ye who are spiritual, y'all with me today, ye who are spiritual. 25 years ago, he was preparing for warfare for such a time as yes! Come on, church. Y'all over here, team. Y'all over here. Look here. Look here. You look. And Miss Number 2, you're the only sibling that's over here, am I right? You have any other siblings here?
Yeah.
Sisters. You have other sisters here?
Yeah, but not in New York.
All right. You see what I'm saying? Now, she's here. And God has exalted her to the point where people wanted her to be their pastor. Lord have mercy. Am I telling the truth? Until I heard certain people say, if she don't get the pastor of the church where they were, they didn't want to come back to the church. Now, I can imagine in her mind, her only thing was to make sure I be a good mother to come on, but God had other plans. Lord, I'm just trying to break it down. We're in the water, baptizing Sister Kamisha. And while she's in the water, there was another pastor at the time. He didn't even baptize her. I ended up baptizing her. But the pastor at that time, Apostle Woods, was standing at the water. And he was able to reach out and give her mother the right hand of fellowship. That she joined the church. You would think that she joined the church to serve under him. But God was preparing her to serve under this leadership. Yeah, I'm trying to make us something here. I'm trying to make us something here. Somebody! Somebody said, paint the picture, Bishop. Paint the picture. Well, everybody knew who Newton was. Everybody knew who Leroy was. But that was their time. And when their time was over, somebody, towards the end of their time, showed up by the name of Raphael. He wasn't Logan. He wasn't Newton. He wasn't Leroy. He wasn't the boy that put up on his name. I'm going to stop right. Well, when God had a calling on this man's life for such a time as this, so now, today, this man is an example of the church when men need to see men that praise God. God has established him to show men you're not less of a man. Let your emotions flow and praise God. Look at yourself. Look at yourself. I can go by each and every one of you. I go by each and every one of you. You're here for real. Jones, you haven't joined our church yet. But let me tell you, Jones, even back in Bishop Wood's time, we had a woman that never joined the church. Martha Ward. She never joined the church. She would come to our church and she called Bishop Wood's members, call us the Woodites. So when the choir singer had a selection by the Woodites. But one day, she stood up and she said, Bishop Woods is my established pastor. That's the story. He's my established pastor. And then Bishop Woods had a friend named Bishop Williams on Buffalo Avenue over in Kingsborough Houses. And on Sunday, that was her pastor. But guess what? As a non-member of the church, she was Bishop Woods' Pastor A president. You know what I'm saying? She put together services to support the church. that even some of the members wouldn't do. She put on rallies to sponsor the things of the church that some of the members wouldn't do. Well, church, Brother Jones is doing some things that some of the men in this church won't do. So leave him alone. While you up here jumping around, Big Jones is downstairs to make sure you can jump around with security. He can't move fast. But I guarantee if somebody go in there and see that big brother over there, they're going to think twice.
That's true. That's true.
I gotta go. Everybody, you're here for such a time as this. I don't care who you are. You're here. Janella, Danica, you're not with your mama. But for whatever reason, Bishop Clark, Glaston Clark, tells you there's a House of God church nearby, and you search and you find out. All you gotta do is cross over the one side of the street and then cross over one avenue and you walk into the door. Don't tell me, God, don't do me for such a time as this. Call somebody. Oh, I'm speaking as your pastor today. I am always your pastor, but it's the Spirit of the Lord speaking through me today. I want to understand this. That shelter been on Atlantic Avenue for years. And the Lord employed one of our daughters as a officer there, working there. And going through some things and so forth. And then later on, there was nobody that she knew that was there that in her mind that could comfort her, because there was nobody who was in that she was in. She felt there was nobody there. So at that time, things happened in her life because she had nobody in her mind there. But somebody showed her back up at church not too long ago, and we were so glad to see that person. And I said, what are you doing? So I said, where are you working? They said, I work at the shelter up at Atlantic. I said, you do work? Yes, I work at the shelter. I said, don't you know that one of the other members work up there? They said, the one? I said, yeah. And now, Sister Marcia is at the same shelter where one of our other young ladies need help and encouragement, and the Lord has used her. Come on, somebody else. I'm going to tell you something. Sister Marcia didn't come back the way she left. Sister Marcia came back strong, church.
Praise the Lord. Praise God.
I'm the pastor, I know. She came back with a feather. She came back with a mind to work. God has been using her to minister to the young lady up there. So something that she experienced, God used her to minister to comfort her. Because what happened to her, that girl could have lost her mind and turned things other way. But she's there. She's there. Of all the shelters that God could have sent her to, it was a time that somebody needed her there. And at that time, God said, all right, appoint her to this shelter. And now, they have one another there. Come on, church. You see how God is. Do you see that? Do you see this stuff I'm trying to tell you? Do you see this stuff I'm trying to tell you? I want you to understand this and I'm through. You are not in this church because you chose to come to this church. You are in this church now because God chose to put you in this church at this time. My daughter said something to me last night that I didn't remember. And she said exactly where I was standing when I said it. And different ones was around me. They said when I said it, this was to hear. They said, Dad, you said, they said, Brother Burton last night, they say, Dad, you said you will never pastor this church.
That's what you said.
This moment of silence is brought to you by. I said, when I said, yes, Dad, you stood at that closet door some years ago and said you would never pastor this church. So what I'm saying, church, we know what we might think we want to do and don't want to do. We'll say, not me, never me, not me, not me, not me. But guess what, church? We are not our own.
Amen.
We are not our own. We are not our own. I guess in all of her years, Alicia never thought that she'd be standing in front of the church delivering a message.
Amen.
Well, I'm looking for the same great thing coming from our brother Malik Edwards in 2 weeks. Come on, man. Come on, encourage him. I remember the days when everybody just looked at Pierce as just being God brother. And my mercies, man, as just being God brother. Being Deacon Evans, God's son. But whoever thought that he would rise up to be one of the main drummers of the church? Come on. Amen. You're all here for such a time as this, no matter who you are. 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 Somebody else is not the first lady of the church for such a time as this. Lady Evans is. For such a time as this. You had facts, but still true. Such a time as this. Such a time as this. You're all here today for such a time as this. So don't think you're here because of who you are or what you know, but you're here to be used for the glory of God, so that our people won't perish, so that the next generation can carry on. We're here for such a time as this. Consecrate me now to thy service, Lord. I love let my soul look up with a steadfast, and I will be. Everybody, put your hands together. Draw me nearer. Draw me nearer. And I will be strong. you. I am God. Oh. And Brother Clark. Brother Clark. Oh. Everybody, it's your time. Say, come on, sweet you know, too loud. Everybody, just stick your finger in. Everybody, just stick one finger in. Look. Wait. Oh. It's just finger on his head. Anybody, finger on his head. Anybody. Do we hear him? Brother Clark, I know you love to get excited. This is one time your pastor asking you and telling you by the power of the Holy Ghost and me right now, I want you to stand still while we pray for you. I don't want you to jump. I want you to stand still. I want you to hear what I'm going to say to you. You heard what the bishop just said? See, I learned something in reading the scripture. There were some people that needed healing, and God didn't always speak to the condition. Sometimes He spoke to the person. And my church, He told some lepers to go show yourselves to somebody. He told other people, take up thy bed and walk. He did say, your legs be healed, leprosy be gone. He gave them instructions. So I'm going to talk to you today. I'm going to employ your faith today. I'm going to tell you today, from now on, I want you to say to yourself that God told me that He wants me to prosper and be in health. Don't move. I know it's good. Don't move. Prosper and be in health, even as your soul prosper. You don't need special prayer. What you need is to employ your faith that He wants you to prosper and be not what the doctor said, but what God said. Prosper. Everybody say me, prosper. Be in health. Come on, be in health. Even as thy soul prosper. Now everybody step away. Praise Him. He's in the back. He's coming in. Step aside, Dick. Brother, step aside. Go with the victory. You have yours. Not you're going to get yours. You have yours. So what the doctor saw is spot. Tell somebody, say, I saw healing.
I saw healing.
Bishop, you don't have to ask me. How did you saw him? Faith is the substance of things hoped for. And the evidence of things I see. How did I see it? I saw it when I stood still. And I saw the foundation of the Lord. I was very, when my hand came off of him, God told me to tell you the reason why he had me to call you. You thought they was taking you to the hospital. God told me there was a purpose for that ride. You were being cooped up in the house a little bit too long. And nobody will ever take you out. So God sent the ambulance to give you a ride. All they did, they just took you for a ride. Somebody shout glory to God. The Lord rebuke you.